Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. My name is Lois. I am your festival director. My pronouns are she, her. A visual description, I am a white woman with short, dark hair, currently wearing a black tank top and a sort of light teal colored jacket. Behind me, you can see a gray couch with some pillows and blankets. I'm a cozy type of gal with a red wine wall and a mystical forest painting. All right, some quick announcements to get us going. And by quick, I mean about 20 minutes of me talking, and then we'll get to the panel, I promise. It seems the closer we get to the actual festival, the longer this list gets, so just bear with me. Welcome to Marketing and Ticketing, everyone. We have some amazing past panelists here today who are going to give you all of their expertise and tips to help you get through this festival with much success. We are live streaming and recording this workshop, so know you can always refer back to this panel after today. No matter where you were joining from, please use those chats. We have staff present on both platforms. If you were in the Zoom room with us, please rename yourself with your first name and your pronouns. Information on how to do that is getting dropped into the chat right now. The Hollywood Fringe acknowledges that we are on unceded lands of Tongva, Quiche, Gabrielinos, and Gabrieleños. A land acknowledgement is a formal statement that recognizes and honors the indigenous peoples of the land we presently reside on or work on. Our statement serves as a practice as we commit to furthering our connection to the indigenous communities, past, present, and emerging. For more information, the Fringe has used these resources, so please use them for your own education as well. They are being dropped into the chat right now. All right, some important dates to start to drill into your memory. These dates are so crucial for the Fringe. Our registration deadline for inclusion in the printed guide is coming up on April 1st. Guide ad deadline, as well as the guide text lockdown, that's going to be on April 10th. So like in your project page, that short description, that is going to be your guide text. You're going to want to make sure you give that lots of eyes before April 10th when that gets locked down. Our audience safety guidelines get released on April 18th. So keep an eye out for those. Tickets will go on sale on May 1st with official previews happening June 2nd through the 7th. And then our opening night party on June 8th at the LGBT Center. Y'all, we are back into full swing Fringe with our opening party at the LGBT Center, and we are so excited. Our official festival run is going to be June 9th through the 26th. Awards and closing night are going to be June 26th at the LGBT Center again. So we're going to have that award ceremony that flows right into a closing night party. Okay, we have tons of events coming up, and I recommend making sure all of these are on your calendar. All of these events are set up to make sure that you are ready come June. So this month we have the Immersive at Fringe workshop. That's going to be Saturday, March 26th from 12 to 2 p.m. On Zoom, just like we are today. Throughout April and May, we have the How to Tech Your Fringe show workshop, the Festival Expectations workshop, and also Town Hall number 2, Prepping for Fringe. All of these are going to be crucial to help prepare you. Our full list of events are also on our website, so don't worry, you can have access to them after this moment. You can even download them directly into your personal calendar. The link to that page is getting dropped into the chat right now. All right, office hours are back in person. Y'all, we are back to meeting every week in person for office hours. These are going to be Wednesday nights starting March 30th and run all the way through June 1st. Join us from 7 to 10 p.m. on each Wednesday night. We will meet at different bars in Hollywood. You'll have a chance to get to know your community, make those friendships that we talk about. You'll be able to market your show, and staff will be present at each and every event to answer any questions you have and just help walk you through this festival. And that'll run right all the way through previews. Okay. Each of these bars will also have special discounts for Fringers each night. So it's not going to, usually it's like $1 off or a percentage off, that kind of thing. We're also hosting 3 additional digital office hours this year to make our preseason more accessible to out-of-town friends and out of COVID consideration. So if you're not quite comfortable to go into that bar setting, we have options for you. Those are going to be April 7th, April 28th, and May 19th from 7 to 9 p.m. on those nights here on Zoom. To kick off our office hour series, we're throwing our first party since 2019. My God, we have missed y'all. We're so excited to share space in person with you again. So to celebrate the community's full return, we are planning a special event on Wednesday, March 23rd at the 3 clubs. It's going to be live band karaoke, dancing, a balloon twister. We're going to have opportunity drawings with prizes like Fringe merch and gift cards from some of our favorite Fringe hotspots like The Plunge, St. Felix, Brazil Kiss, and Eat This Cafe. And of course, there will be cocktails because it is at a bar. Tickets are on sale right now for $25 online. or you can grab them at the door for $30. So I highly recommend getting those tickets now. We are requiring vaccination and a negative test for this specific event, just so we can be a little looser on the masks. They will be recommended, but they will not be required at this event. All proceeds from this kickoff party will go right back into Fringe to help bring you the festival that you know and love, and so that we can continue to do it for years to come. Because y'all, I'm going to get real with you for just a moment. We are a nonprofit. We rely on grants and donations to stay above water. We have not fundraised in over 2 years because we knew our community was hit hard by the pandemic. So we took a back seat over the last 2 years, and we did things like our artist fund campaign. So we fundraised last year, but everything went into artist funds. So this year we are doing a little bit of fundraising to help bring all of the aspects of Fringe that you know back into full swing again. So buying a ticket for this event will help us continue to serve this community and bring the festival back for many years to come. The link to that event is going into the chat right now. Okay, back to the panel. A couple things to note about today's panel. If you have any accessibility needs that are not currently being met, don't hesitate to reach out to a member of staff and we will do our very best to accommodate you. If you need an interpreter for any of our upcoming events, email support@hollywoodfringe.org 72 hours in advance of any of these events, and we will make sure to schedule one for you. We will have an interpreter available at all of our in-person events this year. Here at Fringe, we strive to make sure we provide a safe space for anyone who wants to attend, so that you can make the most cutting edge and honest work the city has to offer. To make sure that we can provide the safe space, we do have a code of conduct, which we're linking into the chat right now. It's really simple. It basically, don't be a jerk, but we want to make sure that those rules are laid out so you can have the most successful Fringe experience possible. If you need any technical support during this event, just DM a member of Fringe staff and we'll gladly help you out. We will be holding all live questions until the end, but feel free to throw some into the chat, both here on Zoom and on Facebook. And if it fits directly in with something we're about to talk about, we might address it a little earlier. All right, COVID chat. I hate this section, but you know what? It's still the reality we live in. Someday we'll be able to get rid of it. But for now, the COVID tab of the day. So we have recently released loosened guidelines for performers. Yay, one step closer, right? They're simple. To perform at Fringe, you either need to have a proof of vaccination, boosters are encouraged but no longer required, or provide a negative test result within 72 or 48 hours, depending on the type of test. All of that detail is in the packet prior to each show or tech in your venue. Some venues may have stricter rules, so make sure you have those conversations early, right? We will release the full audience guidelines on April 18th, so keep an eye out for those. And the full participant guidelines are going into the chat right now, but are also available at hollywoodfringe.org/COVID. Start engaging with HFF marketing right now. Make sure you're signed up for our Fringe emails. They are so important, especially now. So if you get a Fringe email, read it. I promise you everything in there is super valuable to your success at Fringe. If you're here today, I'm guessing you are already signed up. So check that off the list. Make sure you're following us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're at Hollywood Fringe across all of those platforms. And start to use HFF22 and tag Hollywood Fringe whenever you're posting about your show. As always, email support@hollywoodfringe.org with any questions you have along the way. This is your new best Fringe pal. We are here for you every step of the way, so please take advantage of that email when you have questions or need support from us. You may have noticed the participant packet was released on Friday. Yay, we're about a month earlier than usual, so we're trying to get that information out to you as soon as possible. This is your 30-some page Fringe handbook. Everything you need to know about producing at Fringe this year is in that packet. So read through it, especially if you're new, go through it detail by detail to make sure that you are ready. I promise that it is one of the most valuable pieces of information you will receive from Fringe during your journey here. The packet also includes discounts on things like printing, media, marketing, photography, videography, and those will continue to be updated. So we will likely have more discounts as we go through this process, but there are some in there right now that are going to be really valuable to you. The link is going into the chat now, but you can find it very easily on hollywoodfringe.org/participants. Okay, that's my list. 13 minutes, not so bad. You've heard me talk long enough today, and you're gonna hear me talk a lot over the next couple months at different town halls and workshops. So I'm going to wrap my spiel up and hand it over to the wonderful panelists who have proven success in what we're talking about today. I, full disclosure, have not produced a Fringe show. I have produced the Fringe Festival for 10 some years, but they know what they're talking about when it comes to producing your show. So panelists, please introduce yourself, provide your name, your pronouns, a visual description. Let us know if you have any access accommodations that we need to be aware of right now. And then tell us how long you've done Fringe and what your role has been. I'm going to let you, there's only 3 of us here today, so go ahead and popcorn it around when you feel comfortable and we're ready to answer, yeah?
Okay. Hi, I'm Annie. My pronouns are she, her, they, them, and anything else in between. I have curly hair with bangs, and it's I dyed it purple in November, so now it's like super faded and has random weird highlights. And I am in a snuggly tropical sweater, and behind me there is the white wall, but you can see kind of the edge of a mural I painted of the sign that says Hollywood that's in front of the Guinness World Record Museum on Hollywood Boulevard that I did like a month after I moved into this apartment, like 10 and a half years ago. So, and I have green glasses and blue eyes. I think I did that. Oh, yeah. And what else was I supposed to do? Did I do everything?
Yeah. What have you done at Fringe? How long have you
Oh,
been
what have I done at Fringe? Okay. I've done 5 interactive immersive shows at Fringe. I believe 5, maybe 4. 4, maybe 4 or 5. 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 5. I can count, I swear. I do varying price ranges, varying levels of intimacy, varying levels of interactivity. And yeah, and so that's me.
Hey, I'm Roy Shockley. He, him. I'm a black man with kind of long hair on top. Behind me is just a beige wall with various pictures. Now an Iverson jersey and a cue card from The Price is Right on my wall. Um, I've produced 2 shows at Fringe in 2018 and 2019. My show, The Color Collective, and I'm helping to produce the show this year called Popped Out. Uh, also, I'm on the Access Committee and the Scholarship Committee for Fringe, and I've been a mentor in the past.
Cool. I love the mentoring program. Very cool. Hi, I am Matt Ritchie. I am a white male with glasses, a white in my beard that I have to admit. My background is also white. You're seeing a theme. There's a picture on the back wall of a cat in a boat. It is neither my cat nor my boat. I am wearing a brown t-shirt, black glasses, and I've been doing Fringe for, I want to say this is year 11. Well, it's something like that. I've done 11 shows at Fringe. I wrote 3 of those. I directed almost. I'm excited to be back this year with a new puppet musical. Actually, it's going to be a kids puppet musical called Mr. Malcolm's Music Factory. It's going to be very cool.
I love it. Thank you all so much for being here. Should we talk about tickets? That seems like the next step in the agenda. So everyone here know we are going to talk a lot more about tickets at upcoming town halls and workshops. And especially at that town hall, we're going to give you step-by-step information on how to actually do all of the things that we talk about today. So don't panic if we're talking about things, you're like, how am I supposed to do that on the site? We'll make sure you know. It's also in the participant packet as well. So all of those details are there. But panelists, let's talk a little about expectations for house sizes and how do you define and set audience goals? Anyone want to jump in first?
I can jump in here. I mean, honestly, the rule for tickets for the most like I guess like for expectations is don't expect to get rich off of this. Because honestly, breaking even is the game. Like that's what you want. That's the goal. That's what you want to try to do. If you break even, great. Anything you make on top of that is, is awesome. Is gravy. Because there are literally hundreds of shows that happen during Fringe. So there's a lot going. There's a lot going on. You have to try to stand out in the crowd. So for your tickets, I don't know, we'll get more into promo codes and all that sort of thing later, but don't price people out of it. Like, yes, your show may be great and you're putting a lot into it, but not many people typically are going to buy a $30 ticket for Fringe and also go to other shows. Yes, your friends and family may go, but once that's exhausted, as far as like the Fringe community, which tends to be about, I would say, more than half of what your audience is going to end up being, they're not going to pay that much for your show. Just because, like yourselves, they also have spent a couple $1,000s on putting up their show. So, if the choice is, okay, see one show for $25 or go see 5 shows for $25, it's going to kind of weigh out. So that's what you should keep in mind. Price your tickets so that if at least, you have like a half full house, that's enough for you. That's like your break even point. That's just like a good general marketing rule, like anywhere from a third to half. Once you do that, this way you won't be, you won't feel like the pressure of, oh my God, I'm not sold out, or like, it's only a few days before my show. I'm only have a few tickets sold. Everyone buys things last minute here in LA. So yeah, you'll get a lot of day of walk-ups and all of that. And sometimes you'll see, people posting like, oh, hey, like there's, my show sold out in 3 days or whatever. It's like, don't let that discourage you. Don't even let it bother you at all, because, sometimes it's because all their high school friends and college friends went and bought tickets. So like, great for them, but that doesn't mean that your show is going to do bad. So don't, just worry about your own show and your own ticket prices, and don't let what others are putting out there bother you, honestly.
There's also, I think there's also a difference between ticket sales and audience. Not a huge one, but getting people to fill your house is different than getting ticket sales. If we're talking about the money that's going to come in through a ticket sale, I obviously agree with everything that Royce was just saying. And especially the making sure to keep the ticket prices, I always say between $10 and $15. That's going to depend on your show, how much you can afford, but that's usually is around 12. But that's also different than having a full house. So giving a certain number of comp tickets, because listen, as a Fringe member, when you're going to be meeting a whole bunch of other people who are doing really, really cool shows, you're going to want to see their shows. They're going to want to come and see your shows. So doing some comp swaps so that you can see some cool new free theater and have some people come and fill up your house, which will only get more people to talk about your show, is a really good way to keep going. One of the things, and I think, there's, I don't know how many people do fundraising before their show. Some people just have all of their cash on hand. Some people do Indiegogos or Kickstarters or GoFundMes or ask people in the street. One of the things that I tend to do with those kinds of things is coming in a ticket sale. So I would rarely ask anybody, please just give us money so I can do a show. It would be, if you give me $15 to $20 in advance for this Indiegogo or whatever, that's the price of a ticket. So you're going to get a ticket. So that means you can hopefully be in the black before your show starts and have an awful lot of people coming to see your show, because people just bought things in advance. So you've got people coming to see your show, and you've already made back the money that you've spent on your show. So anybody, you're going to be really going to be making some cash. And you can totally afford to just bring it. What are you doing right now? Nothing. You, all 5 of you, you want to not spend any money, so it comes to your show, and you can fill up your house really, really quickly.
What's it called? Piggybacking on a few of the things Matt was saying. The part of the good thing about comp swaps too is like then you're not spending as much money going to see all these shows. Like I always try and put aside like a budget of I need to buy tickets to X amount of shows at Fringe, but you can't always afford that, even no matter how hard you're trying. Yeah, Matt's sound has been dropping on all of our ends. Don't worry, it's not just you, Larry. But it's nice though to do that. And then also if you're selling less of your tickets and doing comp swaps, it's less stuff to report on taxes. Just saying. So you can like report more of like a loss or less of a gain, so you can stay in your starving artist tax bracket that you want to be in. Really great there. No, but I think that comp swaps are great. It's also like no, we all like know we're not going to make a significant profit over our Fringe shows. The point of a Fringe show, I think a lot of people should see as a marketing tool for yourself as an audience, to expose yourself as an artist to a lot of new people that wouldn't necessarily see your art otherwise. But like also don't spend all your money. You're like, don't think of it though as like a big marketing investment in yourself. Think of it as a small investment in yourself, because you know there are people that have like spent like thousands upon tens of thousands of dollars sometimes on their Fringe shows. Nothing has come from it, and because they spend all that money, they I was just looking at Lynn's question. I can answer that in a second, but like I want to finish my thought. And they don't, and then they start charging too much for their tickets. No one's seeing it. Think of it more as like this is your scrappy like indie that you're doing to kind of as your like little showcase that's like your short that you're trying to show, you know, someone to like hopefully trust you with more money in the future to do cool things or just get more of a clout. Like if people have seen your show, you get more name recognition. If people like your stuff, they'll want to invest in seeing you off season, not on a Fringe show, which also, you know, during non-Fringe times of year, venues are cheaper. You're going to be able to do a lot more and have a lot more flexibility than you will during Fringe. Comp swap is literally you just talk to someone, you're like, I want to trade comps, and you go into your ticketing thing and you like you give them a comp, or you can just say use this code to come for free to my show, and then you like do a little like code. So we didn't explain what a comp swap was, but that's just what it is so you kind of do that. Oh, thank you, Lois. Participant packet is a really useful tool. Also, like if you've already done Fringe, definitely go back and check it, because they sometimes change the rules. Like, you know, they might change what the categories are for Fringe. They might change, you know, how the registration is going to be organized. I think that now I'm getting into marketing, so I'll stop, but I have like my own like marketing and the Hollywood Fringe packet like ideas personally. But yeah, and then with ticketing, I'm a different situation. I feel like I've had different pitfalls because I do interactive shows, which sometimes can be really intimate or can be really large. And I have my first year I did a show that was 8 actors, 8 audience members, super intimate. And I just made everything for Fringe participants pay what you can. But then I didn't sell like almost any tickets because of that. Like everyone was just buying tickets. And so I ended up with like a huge loss on the festival. I lost a bunch of money. I was like, okay, I can't just like give out all my, or just like expect people to like all just kind of pay, you know, a reasonable amount necessarily. Because I have to rent my space and I have to like pay my actors. And like, you know, because of that, like my actors like put in so many hours and they only got like $15 each. And I felt guilty about that. I want to pay my actors more to be in my show. The next year, you know, I made it a flat, like the next year was one actor and myself performing with one audience member. We did that show the next 2 years. And we charged like $10 to $15. And we, the first year word got out that the show was good and we sold out really like after our first night of performances, like everyone was kind of like, you have to see this. And we had a standby line like every night, which was great. And then the next year I knew I could charge a little more. So we charged closer to $17. And we always left like 1 or 2 free spots during the night where if we were running like ahead of schedule or there was a no-show, we could kind of more easily fit someone in off standby. So that was good. And then I also had an issue the 2019 Fringe. I was like, I want to do something for free. I want to do something that is just like more just to give back to everyone. But because I did like a straight free show that wasn't even with like ticketing reservation really on the Hollywood Fringe site, like we'd get so many people saying they were coming. We'd have an RSVP list where it was full and we'd be like, okay, we're going to not be able to give everyone. It was a silent disco in the park that was done like as a positive affirmation silent disco. But we would have like maybe like 25 RSVPs, only 20 headsets. I would be freaking out. And then like 3 people would show up. So you also have to keep that in mind when you're doing something for free. You know, you want it to be maybe like, yeah, make it like pay what you can. Pay what you can tends to be better than free, even though also free is a lower Fringe registration fee. Like think about it also in your head a little bit as, you know, like people are more invested in something that they've like even paid $1 for than something that they've just RSVP'd to. So that's my ticketing spiel, I guess.
I got to point out that out of all of the men, like we've had thousands and thousands of Fringe shows in the last 12 years. Annie has proven to break our site more than once and the only one to do so because of her brilliant like one-to-one ticketing. So there was, you know, just a slew of tickets every night she had a performance and it was hilarious.
And that was also like hours of my life making the individual tickets on the website. And so a lot of people though have figured out ways to adapt, maybe like made like email send outs on assigned times or things like that, but it's very difficult to figure out ways to like it would be a lot easier if there was a way to do like a mass check thing, but I know Fringe is working on it somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to kind of circle back because all of you talked about expectations. And I think it's such a valuable thing, especially at this point, as we're easing into that full crazy summer camp vibe that is Fringe, really setting your expectations now. That way you have a successful experience, because like we've been talking about it, this is not where you're going to make your millions. I think if we all are here because we're theater artists. We know that theater is not the big money-making machine that other careers are, right? That's no surprise. So of course, Fringe is going to be that same. Can you make your money back? Can you even make money? Absolutely. I see it happen all the time. But going in with other expectations is also really important to your success and your happiness. Remember that, you know, there's awards, there are reviews, there are press that come to Fringe. So you can kind of build your toolkit for a show. That way, wherever you go next, you have a show that's ready to go. You can build your audience, you build your network with other artists. You start to, you find your photographer that you really like to work with. You find your venue that you really like to work with. So you can build all of these things at Fringe, and those can be a part of your expectations. And in fact, I recommend that those things are a part of your expectations. Or it could be simply to go make some friends who like theater and like you do, and suddenly you have this new Fringe family. So all of these things are great expectations, I think, to have going into the festival. Okay, I'm going to throw one last ticketing question at you, because again, this is going to come up again in the town hall. So all of the information on like how to actually do the comp swaps, how to actually do the discounted tickets, all of that we'll address later, I promise. But let's talk those swaps and discounted tickets. How do you go about doing that? Do you do those for previews? Because butts and seats for previews is pretty important. Yeah. So do you start that process off right in the beginning, or is it something you do throughout your Fringe run? Like, do you use the discount codes so friends feel special when they're invited? For example, with the fundraiser, we have a discount code for Fringe Fam. Hint, hint, Fringe Fam, when you're getting your fundraiser ticket, that'll get you the discount code. So it's a marketing technique, right? And it's to make sure that you get the people that you want to see your show or come to your event through the door. So do you use those, and how do you use those?
I tend to first like at Fringe office hours, when I'm talking to people, go up to the and talking to them if their show sounds really cool, like start to be like, oh, what days are you registered for your previews or things like that, and like start talking to them right away and like get that in, so that May 1st you're like when it becomes open to the public, you can like just get them in as soon as possible with comps. And like, you have to find that person's Fringe account, become friends on like the Fringe account, know how it is, so that you can actually like send it directly to their Fringe account, so they have the tickets right away. It's in the Fringe system. When they open their Fringe app, they already see that they have the ticket. They send it back to you, because you want to make sure you're like, I'm taking care of you. We're good. You're taking care of me. And I think it's also nice to get the ball rolling going to shows preview week. Yes, we're all so amazingly stressed with our own previews, but if you're going to shows, you're also going to start to meet more people who maybe hadn't been able to come to Fringe events because they were from out of town, or maybe they have like a child and they're never there, or like things like that. So I think it's good. You're going to start meeting new people right away. Office hours are great, but yeah, just previews are great to like offer discounts. I usually like even set my ticketing as costing less during preview week, even to the gen population, because you can like change the price of your ticketing based on the show. And you can also change your ticketing on the website too, for participants getting X amount of dollars off, but in badge holders getting X amount of dollars off, to make sure there's like a nice sliding scale to your ticketing. And then also, if you just have a show that's like not selling as much, guess what? When you're registering for your show times, like everyone thinks that they want like Friday at 7 p.m. There's so many people who have shows that Friday at 7 p.m. Like, it's actually a harder sell than you might think. I mean, on Friday at 7 p.m., you're going to find someone in the bar and you can shepherd them into your show, maybe at the Plunge, but like selling tickets in advance is a little harder than you'd think, because there's also like also other stuff around LA going on at Friday. Like someone's like, I got tickets to see Miley Cyrus at the Forum. I don't know, but like figuring out like a way to if you notice a show is not selling as well, you can also kind of be like, hey, I'll give you a special discount if you want to come to this specific show time only. And yeah.
Because like kind of going off what Annie was saying, like for tickets, especially for your preview show, I always make that just pay what you can, so that because you want butts and seats for that. so that you can get reviews, which will get more butts and seats for your other shows. So and I mean, always give discounts for other fringers. Um, just because some of the reasons you mentioned before, just because fringe can be expensive. I'm not going to spend like blow all my money on like 2 shows and when I can easily go see 10 for that same amount of money. Um, so it makes sense for that. Like, all the office hours, you'll meet so many different people, you'll do comp swaps, you'll become friends with them, you'll want to, go see these shows and their shows. Like a lot of your tickets kind of come from networking, to be honest, versus just kind of, flyers or, putting it out there trying to advertise for your show. A lot of it is the community. So you definitely want to try to cater to that, if possible, and leave it open so that you can kind of share your show with everyone else around. Like you can have differently priced tickets for things. Like if you have like your base at $15, you might have like 20 or 30 different promo codes out there for various things. Maybe you have one code on a flyer, another one on a poster, one on your ad on the Fringe site, promo code that you're just giving to one group of friends or whatever, because it also helps you track who's buying your tickets and what marketing things are working. So that's another reason to have multiple codes, so that you can just see what's making a difference for you, because especially like you'll use that information to help you like the second year you do Fringe, knowing like, okay, is it worth it to buy ads and clicks for the Fringe website? Yes, it is. That works very well, actually. But spending a few $100 on posters, putting up around the city, not so much. So it depends. So you just have to so just be wise with your money and your funds, because that can definitely drain very quickly. And with with tickets, yeah, just be smart about it and be okay with like, all right, I got half my household, great. A few of them paid full price, even better. Everyone else had like, discounts, or maybe like you do like a day of flash sale for like, all right, today only $5 tickets. Use this code. So it's kind of becomes one of those things. Do what you got to do to sell tickets, and there's nothing wrong with having Monday night shows or Wednesdays and Thursdays, because yeah, like everybody wants to do Friday and Saturday. And it's like, well, if everyone has a show that night, where's the audience coming from?
What's it called? Kind of also going off of some of the stuff that Royce was saying. Number one, like I always end up buying too many flyers. You don't need as many flyers as you think you do. A lot of people, even though you're doing like flyer swapping at like the office hours, like some people like run out of room in their bag and they're like, I can't fit anymore, I'm sorry. So, and also one of like the big wastes of money is there are people who try and be like, I'll drop all of your flyers off at every coffee shop, and they like charge money to do that. And like, how many flyers do you pick up at coffee shops? Like you might look at the community board, but like you're not going to actually take the flyer. You might take a picture actually of something on a community board sometimes. And then also like it's post-COVID, I think a lot of people are even less likely to pick up a flyer at a place. And then also too, I'm talking about like wanting to get the most bang for your buck. Sometimes I will just like, if I'm like, oh, I have free time, like from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on this day, I will literally do the like on Fringe, you can check and look at all the pay what you can or free shows going on in a calendar, and you'll sometimes just grab those up. And so sometimes it like makes sense for you to, if you think that your show is during the time that there are less shows going on, like maybe for part of it even like part of the sale process, offer pay what you can, just so that you show up when people are searching the schedule.
The only thing I could possibly say, in addition to the awesome stuff that Royce and Annie were saying, is one of the really great things about having a pay what you can or copy on. Oh man, I swear, my internet. One of the great things about having a comp show early on, having people there early, is having them write reviews. Reviews is the thing that can really get people in there. And during my first show at Fringe, one of my actors at the end of the show would say, "Thank you so much, everybody. If you liked the show, please get onto hollywoodfringe.org and write a review. If you didn't like the show, get onto hollywoodfringe.org and lie."
Mm-hmm.
Highly recommend.
100%. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to do like a quick lightning round on this because we did talk a little bit about the pricing. So I'm just going to go around for a quick, like what was an average price that you saw during your festival? And I'm going to tack on if you have any experience in selling digital tickets, because right now, if everyone knows, our model is kind of a hybrid. So we're doing a focus of in-person, but in addition to performing your in-person work live, you can live stream it simultaneously. So potentially your Fringe show could have two very different audiences, which have two very different ticket styles. So let's go, when we go around with the average ticket price, also throw in if you have any tips for the digital audience specifically.
I said earlier, but between 10 and 15, I almost always have mine at 12. And then you can go down or discounts or what have you. I haven't produced anything that's also an online, but it would make sense to me that you would drop by at least $3 for streaming. Again, I don't have experience with that. I'm just saying that if I were to do that for this show, I would drop it a minimum of $3, probably closer to maybe half price. It depends.
Yeah, agree. Like, yeah, my tickets were always like $12, and then just adding on promo codes and everything from there. For digital shows, the best advice is basically between yourself, your cast, your production team. You all have hometowns. All of those people can watch your show now from home or in other states and other countries. So, you have a much wider group to market to. And Lois, are you still allowed to sell tickets like on other sites other than the Fringe site? Or are you still able to do like as long as it's half or whatever?
Yeah, absolutely. So what Royce is talking about, everyone, we try to give you as much control as humanly possible, right? But remember, we're also marketing the festival. So all we ask as far as ticket sales is that 50% of your tickets are sold through the site. And you have your ability to say how many tickets you want to offer. So just make sure that half of your house size is offered on the Fringe website. That way we're not sending a bunch of marketing towards shows that don't have any tickets available on our site, but you can absolutely choose to use third-party platforms. There are tons of them out there. I know we partnered with Today Tix before. They offer a lot of like lottery options. So, quick at the end of like the 2 hours before your show, or you can sell them at the door, certainly. So yeah, great question, Royce.
Okay, good, cool. Yeah, because I have used Gold Star for my shows before, and Gold Star, that's nationwide, and they have like they send out a mailing list that has thousands of people on it. So if you market your show that way, you can get a lot of bang for your buck for as far as how many eyes see something about your show. And some of these people, they might even know what. I even know what the Hollywood Fringe Festival is. That's get people from Pasadena, Long Beach coming to see a show. And they're like, "Oh, there's a whole festival?" Like, yeah. So all of those are easy, free tools that you can use.
Annie, anything to add?
I guess to circle back to I think the original question, cost of tickets. I have when you're doing an immersive or an interactive show, usually you can charge a little bit more because you have such a small audience number, and so there is a little bit of a desirability factor. I though also try and offer for my shows at least like one like or two severely discounted tickets for people who have either significantly lower income or people in communities that have been traditionally like pushed out by the theater community. So that like I try and do that. I try and make that effort. And I think also though, yeah, there's just that. I was gonna go off on like a complete tangent, but I'm reining myself in.
You're awesome. I had a question come through that I want to address because it's a really excellent question. So we're talking about that 50% of tickets on the site, right? So with digital, how do we judge 50% of a house that could be thousands? We're not going to try to like give detail on that, y'all. So if you could like approximately 50% of all of your tickets. So make sure that if you're doing a live stream show that some of your tickets are available on the Fringe website. We're not going to go through and, you know, make sure you have 50% of it. The house size, it's an easy one to make sure of, but digital, just, you know, do your best to make sure they're available on the Fringe website. That's all we ask there. Okay, we're going to pivot. We've already kind of started the marketing chat, but we're going to do a hard pivot and really get into the marketing because it's a pretty important piece of producing a show. Yeah, we want to get those butts in seats like we've been talking about. No, as a whole, so the Fringe will market the festival as a whole. That is what we do. You know, we have hundreds of shows under the Fringe umbrella, so we can't play favorites to any one of our, you know, one of our babies, but we will market the festival as a whole. And no, we have pole signs this year again, so we're going to have those pole signs all over Hollywood in May and in June. Those are already scheduled out and taken care of with permitting and all of that. We also send out press releases and make sure that we are added to all of the local calendars. We also have things like Fringe TV with opportunities for y'all to individually market your shows through the Fringe platform. We'll do like teasers and prompts and things like that. More information on that coming soon. And then we also offer discounted web impressions, which are the little ads you see on the site. And finally, our printed guide is back this year. We have a new larger size, approximately 8x11 on recyclable paper. So we will print thousands of those guides and place them all over the city. We are already in talks with several locations where, you know, like tourist spots, local, like art schools, different places that we know attract audience for Fringe. So we'll make sure to get those out where they need to be. And that's another, so remember that April 1st deadline, you're gonna wanna make sure your show is registered by April 1st. That way you have a listing in the guide ad. The next guide deadline is going to be April 10th, and that's for printed ads. So if you want to purchase a printed ad so that your show is featured in that guide, that's going to be April 10th. You want to have that in by, and make sure you're registered first. Do not purchase an ad before you're registered, because as a registered participant, you get over 50% off all of those ads. So make sure you register first. We want you to save that money. And all of the specs as well as templates. And for the first time, we have Photoshop, Illustrator, and Canva. All of those templates are available at hollywoodfringe.org/ads. And if you're new to this digital marketing, I cannot recommend Canva enough. It is free and super user-friendly. I say that as someone who is, I'm not tech savvy. I've learned a lot in the last 2 years where we kind of all had to be. And Canva is a dream. It's an absolute dream. So I highly recommend that. Okay, I'm done spieling. Now back to the brilliant panelists. Let's talk about that marketing. How do you factor in marketing into your budget? Is it a small amount? Is it a large amount? Do you have a like approximate percentage of what marketing is in your overall budget?
I don't go in with like a specific marketing budget. I try and at first utilize as much free marketing as I can. I try and come up with some cool looking Instagram posts that I hope are buzzy and will hopefully intrigue people enough that they're like, ooh, what's this about? And that is like my personal strategy. I also have some, I am part of, you know, a Facebook group that is dedicated to immersive theater. So I try and drum up business on that Facebook group. And then I also try and contact a lot of people that I know have liked my art in the past and ask them if they want to like preview a rehearsal of the show, things like that. get like them as a workshop people who I know if they don't like it, they'll be like, well, it was a workshop, and they won't like spread around that it's bad. But if they really like it, they're like, oh, this is going to be good. And so you kind of like try and bring in those trusted people. So those are like some easy free things to do. And also like, you know, maybe bring in for like workshop performances some of your new friendships, because those people, everyone at Fringe wants each other to succeed. Like the more everyone at Fringe does well, the more if you get opportunities in the future, you have other people you can call on to help you, and like we can all support each other. It's like Fringe is the best place to meet your new lighting designer, best place to meet your new costume designer, best place to meet your new puppet designer. Like everything can come out of Fringe, or like, you know, see someone who does something, you're like, I want to learn how to do that. Like there's so many people that are like, yeah, I'll teach you how to do that. Let's work together. I also am very lucky in that I am a professional photographer, so I do all my own photography, and it looks good. I'm in the participant guide as like official like Fringe vendor too as a photographer. So anyone out there wants to hire me, I'm sorry I'm plugging myself here, but I think that because I also am a director, I'm like pretty good at knowing like what works photography wise for marketing a show, and I've marketed a bunch of shows. I am definitely also willing to, like, if I'm not shooting a performance, if I'm doing pre-production type stuff with you, like to advise on what has worked for me. But yeah, I personally think that like having good photography is a good thing, because people are like, this show looks like it's going to be so good and cool. And I think that definitely that has been really helpful for me, like just like having photography and design stuff. Before Canva was like as readily available, I used Adobe Spark, which I think is basically like the same thing. So like if you have Adobe already, I think Adobe Spark is free, but there's like a limited version. But if you have like an Adobe subscription already for like, you know, using Audition to mix music or anything like that, then you can also use Adobe Spark, like a full version of it that integrates with like your Photoshop and your Illustrator directly, which can be good. But both Canva and Adobe Spark are like great, very easy templates that like help you. They're very good at guiding everything, and they can like really make it Instagram friendly. Both of them are like, you want to make a story, you want to make a this. Other like easy story making software, I think for like $2 a month, there's an app called Unfold, and it makes very hipstery looking stories that, you know, can help. And then also with you know, the very vaporwave aesthetic that is very popular for the last couple of years of, you know, making things look 90s and VHS. There's a lot of like apps that are the vaporwave apps, but you also can think of like the aesthetic that fits with your show and kind of be like, oh, my show takes place in the 70s. There's an app that's the 70s filter app. I'm going to download it and use that on everything. Like if you can't, you know, afford a professional photographer to like edit everything, it's really a lot though about imaging and making your stuff look professional. And it is professional. We're all professionals here because we're making theater for money.
We're certainly at least with money. There's
Even if you're at a loss, it's still your career on your taxes.
That's true. That's a good point. I got an idea, kind of you guys. It's like every time I start talking, I just stop talking. It's amazing. The internet, who loves it? So one of the things that I've found is if you've got, take a look at your show, and does your show kind of scream out for a certain audience? are you doing a Tom Stoppard show? And should you be pushing this to certain colleges before the summer begins? Do you do a certain type of writer or a certain genre or a certain whatever? Are you doing a horror play? What are some online horror groups or some local bookstores or that kind of thing to kind of bring people from outside of Fringe in maybe some other communities and bring them in, which by the way is only going to help the rest of Fringe, because if people come and see your show and go, wow, really good. That's a really, I've found successful way to do some marketing. And because I haven't done it for a while, I guess my next question really would be, I did do the very, let's spend $200 on postcards because I know I'm going to be giving that to everybody. It seems like, especially with Fringe last year, since so much of the interpersonal stuff was online, how did, I know definitely Royce or Annie, did you have a show last year? I can't remember.
I did not have a show last year.
Nope.
I had a couple shows during not Fringe season last year, but not during Fringe.
I wanted to know, and I think you kind of answered this sort of, Royce, in terms of non-physical marketing to the community. What did you find the most useful?
The most useful thing has been word of mouth, honestly. I mean, that's almost always your best marketing tool, because if someone loves your show, they're going to tell a bunch of people about it. Also, if someone hates your show, they're going to tell a bunch of people about it. So, it goes both ways. And yeah, because I'll never forget, there was this one show a few years ago, Drunk Bible Stories. It was a great show. I thought it was a whole lot of fun. Basically, literally the people on stage would get drunk and tell stories about the Bible. There was a reviewer there, didn't know what he was getting into, thought it was going to be like a full-on like religious show talking about the use of alcohol in biblical times. Nah, that's not what it was at all. It was about getting trashed and talking about some of the weird stuff, in the Bible, some of the let's say the more creative stories, let's say. And one of the reviews for it was like, oh yeah, this is the most beautiful shit show I've ever seen. That was my review. More people came. They used that in their marketing and sold tickets off of it, because the show was funny. It was great. But then people that were like, what the hell is this? Well, this person didn't like it. Oh, I definitely want to go watch it. So, it's word of mouth that does wonders. Yeah, like other than that, I mean, that's the best thing. There's really not anything else, I guess, like that's like kind of like non-physical, because like like Annie mentioned, people might see flyers and or take a picture of it. You might see that stuff around, and like, yes, they are helpful for office hours, to pass out to people, to have something tangible, because some people will look at the flyers like, oh, okay, I don't want to go to this show, I want to go to that one. This is a maybe pile and this one's a no, like that. So that part helps for sure. So like once Fringe starts, the flyers like, okay, yeah, it's not as effective as it was before.
I love that. And y'all, I want to remind you, like, this is the Fringe Festival, right? We're not the LA Opera. We're not the Globe. We're not trying to produce work for the average goer. You're allowed to be honest. Like, I love the idea of like the best shit show or most creative shit show you've ever seen. Like, run with what's working for your show. And some shows you want to embrace the weird and embrace the thing, because that's what's going to clue people in and get those butts in seats. So I know a lot of people weren't around last year. So I'll say what I learned by just watching everyone marketing their show is media, y'all, in that digital realm. We have been living in Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime land for the last 2 years, and people want a teaser. They want to see what to expect, because that's how we choose what we're going to watch on Netflix every night. So people they've gotten into the habit of needing that little teaser. So I highly recommend using media in that way. And you can put your trailer, you can put clips on the website right in your project page. So there's a place to do that on the Fringe site. So I can't recommend that enough. Shoot your teaser, get Video Works, our own social media director is constantly talking about that. We need to say stuff into a camera to advertise what's going on at Fringe. So I recommend y'all do the same. And that's expert advice from Bella Luna. Okay, let's talk about that out of the box marketing. So we kind of touched on it a little bit, but you want to look outside of just your friend circle and your new Fringe community circle of friends, right? Because that's only going to be so many butts in your seats. So how can you use, especially your show content, to specifically target an audience that you might otherwise not have access to? Is your show a superhero show? Maybe you're going to go to the comic book store and make sure your flyers and your posters are there, or maybe you spend 3 hours talking to people in a comic book store. So how would you use out of the box marketing to make sure your show is out there?
This is actually, I think I'm going to be answering some of the questions in the text box as well. I would say as long as to answer the question about posting in bookstores near the Fringe zone or local theater groups, obviously everything should just be with permission. Number one, that's the most important thing, is always talk to somebody before you're allowed to, but then if you're gonna really be doing something that is non-theater related, if you just thinking about what is the going to, oh my God, going to, there was a great, I think Dark Delicacies, is that still open in Burbank? It was a Dark Delicacies. It was a really cool, like horror gothic bookstore with cool, it was really, really, sadly, I think it shut down.
There's still Bearded Lady though. You can still go to Bearded Lady Mystic Museum, same vibe, or like Necromancer.
Yes, absolutely. I was doing an Edgar Allan Poe show, and I would just go in and be like, "Can I drop some of these here? Because these are my people." Yes, absolutely. And I think it certainly helps if it's in the Fringe Hollywood area. But go to Pasadena. Do you know where those is there a specific group in Orange County that would travel for go to Orange County, drop something off, as long as it's kind of, that it's going to be your people. You know what I mean? I think that's what really matters. And respect. It all goes back to don't be a jerk. As Lois was just, I see you typed it just as I was saying. Yeah, that's really what it is. As long as you're respectful to the groups who you are asking kind of, to drop off your stuff. Yeah.
Also, like, I know that we're supposed to be talking about like not like marketing to other fringers, but like, sorry, something that really works well though is to come dressed in your costume to like office hours in your costume for your show. If it's a really unique costume, people are like, whoa, and they can like look at it visually up close, or you're like, it's show and tell, like, and it also, you can talk to other shows and you can be like, hey, outside your show before it starts, can I be juggling? And then if people ask me why I'm juggling, I can tell them. Don't do it without asking them first, but like be like, oh, I'm going to go outside this venue. And also make sure it's okay with the venue too. It might be okay with the person doing the show, but also check in with the venue. Speaking of venues, certain venues have their own email list. Certain venue managers have their own email list. Like, look at who's managing your venue. You can be like, oh, like a lot of venues are managed by like Matt Quinn. So like be like, oh, maybe doing something with him. He has a really long email list, would be a good idea. It's always a little hard to do a first year venue. But if it's managed by a good person, then that's helpful. If it's an independent venue, there's always just a little bit of an extra hump. But yeah, so there's sometimes a support system helping you out there. And also for, going to your people. I mean, I think if you're passionate about the subject of your show, you should be the type of person that knows the type of people who'd like that show as well. And maybe just like, it's so scary now, I know, like post COVID, going to social events, but like maybe look up and meet on meetup.com, or like go to the Time Out or LA Weekly, or I know we're all like LA Weekly, so maybe not, but like LAist, or LAist doesn't really do lineup week of what's going on that week, but like look it up. Like if you're doing like a punk rock show, maybe go to the Echoplex's free residencies or Gold Diggers free residencies, see small local bands, be like, I'm doing a show about, and like meet people, you know, and yeah. I know it's scary though. We like, you can wear as many masks as you want and only go places that require vaccination.
Royce, do you have anything to add?
No.
Fair enough. Y'all know so much that it's like by the time we get to the third, I'm going to try. So maybe you go first this next round. All right. Make sure you get to talk. So let's talk about standing out from the crowd. Because and marketing, I know every show is going to have something a little different, because like we're talking about, every crowd is going to be a little different. So some of this may work for you, some of it may not. And the cool thing about Fringe is we're going to give you like the rules or the tips, and then people break them, and with great success. So know that there's no like one path for everyone here. But let's talk, we've been talking a little bit about digital, like the media working. So social media, some of these free aspects of marketing, like, I mean, email is free. So let's talk about like what has worked for you and what you recommend spending your time on, because right, time is money as well. Even like with Fringe, you're not going to have nearly enough of it, so it can be just as valuable as actual dollar bills. So what do you think people should spend their time on as far as social media marketing or emailing, and how do you stand out and also not annoy people? Because that's what you also don't want to, right? It's the same rule as press. If you drive them crazy, they're not only not going to see your show, but they're not going to post your release. They want nothing to do with you if you've annoyed them. So same thing with your pals, right? So what are some recommendations when it comes to digital marketing?
I definitely say for something that I know I've done before in the past is, at office hours, instead of having flyers, because maybe like I just didn't make flyers yet, I trade Instagram pages and Instagram handles, because then it's like, oh, okay, now people can follow your show, and you're posting production pictures, doing stuff like that, and you have your link up there. You can inform people of, oh, hey, now we got a promo code for today, or whatever. So that's something quick and easy that you can and should do. There are various, there are a couple of official Fringe Facebook groups where you can promote your show. Once it gets to May, it gets a little spammy. So so yeah, just a little bit. So basically don't spam a lot of the groups, because after a while, everyone's going to just be promoting. And just kind of pick your best time and place to do some of these things. Like, I remember like the opening night party, there'll be a table that has flyers on it. Everyone's dropping off flyers, no one's picking up flyers. So so that's kind of the thing to think about there. But you can also get very inventive too, like putting up trailers from your shows, like little clips, interviews with actors, or the crew, and directors, all talking about the show. So that's a way to kind of build buzz for it. You can also do things like, especially get on TikTok, and maybe it's a character that you're doing in your show, or one of your actors is doing. Yeah, just start doing stuff with that character, on TikTok, and see what works, see if something picks up, and then people will realize, oh wait, this is a show that I can go see live, or watch online. All right, great, yeah, I'll go ahead and do it. So that's something that's like new, or good, kind of like a somewhat out of the box thing to do. Is like, now for me, for TikTok, I don't know how to use TikTok, but some of you do. So use it to your advantage. Other than that, like, yes, you can do emailing people, and Facebook posts, but then too is so for me, like I'm in the comedy world. Facebook is usually just like filled and you're inundated with invites to shows and this, that, and the other. So it's kind of hard to stand out that way. It usually like a more personal approach is better, or just having stuff where it's like, okay, hey, people can see this, people can choose to follow the Instagram page or not, because like, oh, this is for my friend show, I know what this is. They know, people know what they're kind of getting into, because sometimes like self-promotion, especially like if you're a solo show, it can feel kind of icky and weird. It's kind of like a thing like you have to do. But there are also ways to do it where you're not I guess how should I put this? Where you're not like constantly beating people over the head with like the shows. Like I swear, if I see one more ad for whatever show, like that's it. So you don't want to. You have to find the happy medium with your with your promotions. Like so, like don't do like 10 posts a day about your show, because that's the quickest way to get blocked.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in so quickly just because Royce is talking about something that is so important that I also think gets forgotten so easily when we're stressed. And especially, I mean, we're coming out of a time where I don't know about you, but I've been spending basically 2 years in my house, only socializing with a very small number of people. So this festival in particular is going to be a bit of a jump start into the world again. And so remember, being a person matters more than anything. Like when you walk into these networking situations, when you're posting on social, if somebody doesn't like you, they're not going to come see your show. And I'm not saying they have to like everything about you, but I'm saying don't be a jerk. It's our rule for a reason, right? If you are not being kind, if you are not being supportive, if you walk into the office hour space going, here's my show, here's my show, here's my show, and you walk out not knowing a single other show that's taking place at the festival, I'm going to almost promise you that none of those people are going to be in your seats, right? You have to be a human when you're marketing more than anything. So just, yeah, and when you get stressed, when you get anxious, it's easy to forget that. I'm human too, and I get anxious in those situations as well. So just kind of taking a breath and just remembering to be yourself is going to do you a lot of favors in the marketing world. Okay. Matt, you want to go next? I see your.
Yeah, because I want to, first of all, piggyback on that. And secondly, kind of go a slightly different direction with this. Because obviously I agree with everything that Royce was saying. I find that theater, like I really dig theater. Like I like going to see shows. And because of that, what I wind up doing is, it's a little early right now, but I start going through the Hollywood Fringe page and just looking at shows and go, I want to see that. I'm going to click that as a favorite. I want to see that and click that as a favorite. That's in addition to meeting people and kind of creating a list of things that I am interested in seeing. That interest in other shows, in other people, in other experiences, rather than my thing, push it. Not to get philosophical here or anything, but like there is something to the more you are interested in other things and bringing other things in, that person whose material you're genuinely interested in will then probably be genuinely interested in your own stuff. And you get the bonus of seeing some really cool shows. So that's another really, I think, undervalued marketing tool, is being really interested in other people's material.
Annie, do you have anything to add, darling?
So I was just going to piggyback real quick off of what Matt was saying, as far as like, yeah, like, be genuine about your interests. Like, yeah, a lot of times at office hours, like, everyone kind of gives their elevator pitch about their show or whatever. Even, at least even if it's a show that maybe doesn't interest you or whatever, like, don't be disrespectful about it. Just be like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, sounds like fun, or whatever. Like, you don't don't walk away from the person if that's what they're talking about, or saying like, oh, hey, how you doing? Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, let me tell you about my show. Like, don't do that, because that's not going to make people want to go to your show either. Because I always bring this up every time I do this panel. I remember specifically one time I was asking someone, I was talking to a friend who was doing a show. Another person came up, and I guess they just really wanted to talk to their friend, or whatever. Just like, oh yeah, what's your show about? You know, they talked about it a little bit. So, that sounds cool. And have a you have a flyer for it. She had a stack of flyers, but then didn't want to give me one. It's like, you never know who might want to see your show, no matter the subject matter or whatever. So just like, all right, that's weird. Not going to go see that show now. So
Yeah, like what? I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. So yeah, kind of like the rule, don't be a jerk.
I get that if you like have one flyer left, like I'm not giving it out, but take a picture of it. Like that's the only situation that ever makes sense into me. I also know that I personally have very big and loud personality. And, you know, like some people are off put by me and I need to like be better at reading social cues. But I think it's mainly because I'm so excited and I'm excited about everyone and everyone's shows. And I can't wait to see what everyone does. And I think, you know, I think like even if you find someone annoying, like usually you can recognize that they're coming from a good place. So like just like everyone just come from a good place and be a good person. And like I hopefully we all love art. Like, you know, like hopefully we like seeing other people's art and being inspired by it. And you know, like I think that the more art I see, the more ideas I get for my own art, you know. And you like hearing the way other people think is very helpful, I think, for us in general. And so we should really try and be the type of person that is constantly curious.
I love that. Be the kind of person who's constantly curious. That's beautiful. And I'm going to take that like into life, Annie. That's great. I'm going to stick.
Motto.
It's good. I'm going to stick with this office hours theme because this is coming up. And I think we maybe have scared people a little bit, right? It's like, oh, don't be scared. Don't be anxious. It isn't like it's going to be fine. I promise you. It's cool. I've been doing this for 10 years and it brings me so much joy to watch people those first couple office hours kind of come in really, you know, nervous and like spend most of the time talking to myself or Ellen or another staff member, and then cut to the end of the office hour series. And it's like they're sitting there with all of their best friends talking about what they're going to do the next day, even though it's not a Fringe event. So like it'll happen, you know, those first couple of days, you just kind of jump in, and then before you know it, you have this whole new group of friends, and you're looking forward to office hours because that's your playtime during this crazy festival season. But I want to talk. Oh, Annie have something to add.
Oh, I was going to talk about my first office hours experience and like how it went to me and how it went to like I guess other, like I didn't realize, like so my first office hours I was like so excited and so nervous, and I like had just made my flyers and I was like going up to people, I'm like, look, like this is why I'm excited about my flyer, this is why I'm excited about my show, what's your show? I was like, but I was also like very scared. I was like, I sound like an idiot, I don't know. And I found out like 4 years later from, you know, one of the founders of Fringe, they were like, you were like really like deep. And I was just like, wait, what? She's like, I was just like, this girl is so like, she has like a whole concept behind her flyer. Like she has like, I was like, I am glad that like that. So like, you know, you might be like freaking out in your head thinking, I'm going to make no friends, I'm going to do whatever. And like, I also literally was like, I'm going to be like the person who stays here till the very end. So like I literally stayed, and then they were like, oh, we're going, like 3 people were like, we're going to another bar. I'm like, I'm going with you. Like I just was like, stick to it, go to the ends, like meet as many people as possible. And like even I'm like one of those people that seems like very social, and I'm very extroverted and I love talking to people, but I also am like constantly scared of foot and mouth disease, which is a common thing for me. I like to say I say the exact wrong thing at the exact right time all the time. But I never mean to. But you have to get over that to like meet people at the shows, and it's great once you do, because like suddenly you think that this person you embarrass yourself in front of is like you're walking down the street at Fringe and they're like, hey, and you're like, oh, hi. And also people are going to meet a billion people. So like try not to take it personally if they don't remember you. I know that by the like 6th time I met like someone, they still didn't remember my name or who I was, or they did remember me, but not my face. So like as I had to remind them who I was and they were like, oh yeah. So, you know, there's just so many people. You got to get used to it.
And we'll have name tags. We have those for a reason because we get it. Like there can be, I mean, during like, especially the latter end of the office hours series, we'll have 200 people at a bar. So like we have name tags for you when you show up. That way it makes it easier for everyone. And especially with masks, it's harder. I can't tell you how many people I thought were Ellen asked me about it at the next office hours. We have some funny stories because apparently I require the mouth in order to recognize someone. So name tags are there, don't worry. Let's talk elevator pitch because that's a big part of that office hours marketing, right? We talked word of mouth is crucial. So how do you provide a good elevator pitch and also not give the entire synopsis of your play when trying to promote your show?
There are no elevators at Fringe, so I just don't do it. Why even? But I always find that if you take, thank you very much. You're all week. I always find just, you know, I mean, I don't know how many people go through and have looked at you know, popular elevator pitches for movies and whatever. But if you can get your entire pitch into one sentence, you know, if it's story based, you know, when main character does whatever, this other thing happens until low point. I teach a lot of storytelling techniques, so that's kind of how I go. But the most important part is, what is the thing that's really cool about your show? It almost doesn't matter if there's a story. You know, you could ask a question. You know, Annie's the second show that I saw of Annie's, Department A. If you just asked a question about what would it be like if you were stuck in a room with fill in the blank, I would just go, okay, I got to see that show. Because whatever this show is asking me, your show is asking me this question that is really getting me interested. And if you just leave them with that, now they're going to be thinking, and now they want to know, and now they want to be involved, or picking out the one or two things that truly make your show unique, I think is the best way to go.
Yep, short, sweet, to the point. That should be it. And especially it's like, we're theater people. There tends to be a higher percentage of us that are socially awkward with these things. Especially because with office hours, it's like, it's a little bit easier because we're all there to do the same thing. We're all there to basically promote our show or talk about it or have questions. So, because we all kind of have that same shared reason or shared experience to talk, it's a little bit easier to break the ice with people. So that does help. And then just for your, for yourself, if it's okay, if you can keep your pitch, short and sweet, then it's less time you have to talk about it and feel, and feel self-conscious or whatever. Because for my show, what that I did for Fringe for a couple of years, the Color Collective, mine was simply, okay, if Saturday Night Live, In Living Color, and Chappelle's Show, somehow had an orgy and then had a baby from that, that's the Color Collective. It includes all those things. So I mean, it's pretty much short, sweet, to the point, and someone will remember it because that's a really weird way of describing a show. So, just be unique, be fun, with it, and don't think too hard about it. Like if you were just want to tell someone about the show, you only have you only have 2 or 3 sentences. That's all you need. And then someone will tell you if they want to know more. They'll be engaged and will ask you questions, and look, there's your steps to making a new friendship. and your wall is down now, and now you can easily talk to more people. So when you get to the last office hours where there are like hundreds of people there for the first time, yeah, it'll be a breeze to talk to everybody. Because like my first Fringe, I went to every single office hours, which is meeting people, talking to them. Would see a lot of the same people at first, so it became pretty easy after a while. It's all about just the practice of it too. So.
Annie, you're nodding. Anything to add?
I mean, I think that Royce has said a lot of good stuff. And also like friendship wise, I also just like kind of noticed, I was like, oh, Royce, you just friend requested me on Facebook and we're gonna be Fringe buddies. I'm so excited.
We're watching it happen live, everyone. This is Fringe.
This is friendship. Friendships happen all the time.
I love it. All right, y'all, we are going to start taking questions in just a minute. So kind of start to think about what you have that you want to ask this wonderful panel. But I'm going to ask one last question to give everyone time to collect. So my question, and just to kind of wrap it all up, what are 3 to 5 things you think are the most important marketing tools or the most important things to do to market your show that people should either prepare financially for or prepare emotionally for? What are the 3 to 5 things that are good go-tos to make sure you have in place to market your show? I don't know what this was.
Good visuals, a strong passion about your show, as well as making sure everyone on your team is just as passionate about the show. Because if you have like a lighting designer that's like embarrassed to be part of your show, doesn't matter how good of a job they do, like, you don't want someone to be like, oh, I was working on the show, I didn't like it. Like, make sure your team is happy and taken care of, and no one is like annoyed at you. I know that I can like annoy my cast sometimes because I am a perfectionist and they're like, ooh. Or sometimes I'm like the stickler that's like, we have to listen to the venue rules. The venue manager has yelled at us again. But just like make sure everyone's happy to be there and everyone's excited to talk about the show. So like good visuals, everyone happy on the team, excited to talk about the show, yourself included. And like, just like treat Fringe as don't try and force Fringe to meet your needs. Like you kind of like let yourself adjust to meet Fringe's needs. I mean, not Fringe's needs, but Fringe's constraints. Like don't expect like you're gonna like change the Fringe wheel. There is like over 300 shows in the Fringe. It's not going to bend to fit your specific needs. Like you got to work with the tools you're given.
I'd say like my 3 to 5 things that are essential. One, yeah, like I agree. Be passionate about your show, because if you're not, who else is going to be? So that be for marketing. Think outside the box, because you'll want to think of doing things that are different than what other people are doing. Maybe it's trying to go get sponsorships for your show, which will also help pay down some costs. Or maybe it's I don't know, like doing something like weird at office hours, like the costume thing. I remember there was this one show a couple years ago, I think it was called like 2 for 1 or 2 in 1, and where these 2 women basically were walking around in an oversized t-shirt together, like they were literally connected at the hip, walking through office hours. Do I remember their names? No, but I remember their show, and that's from a few years ago. I don't know what I ate 2 days ago, so it can be memorable. Self-care, Fringe is a lot. It just is, especially if this is your first time producing. Make sure you have a team around you. Make sure you have some support, especially if you're a solo show where like almost everything is on you. So have some friends that you can count on to help. Have like, have people that you can vent to. Take time for yourself, or just where you have a day where it's like, you know what, I'm going to watch TV. I'm going to treat myself and go to a movie, or you know what, I'm going to stay home, not put on pants, roll a couple of blunts, and call it a day. Like, do what you got to do. Like, it's all about the self care, and
Make it like a normal day.
And like,
yeah.
And also like on the self-care too, like, it's very reasonable that you're gonna get like burnt out from the social interaction in general, like with COVID and having not been anything like near things for a while. Like, I personally on Friday night went to my first like big party since like COVID, and I was like very like drained, like from being there for like 2 hours, and I was like and then the next night I tried to go on like a first date, and I was like, I 2 hours in, I was like, I can't do this anymore. And like my date, I feel like, was a little offended. I was like, no, I just like, I'm burnt out, I don't have the energy for this. And like, except like, personally, if like post COVID you need like that extra time, no one like is going to judge you.
Yeah, I mean, kind of piggybacking on that, I think I was talking to everybody beforehand saying that we're all supposedly back to the way things used to be. Everybody in the world, I think, is living with this new low level of stress that's just rolling in the background. And that's stuff that a lot of people who've done Fringe before weren't even dealing with before, because it's a whole new stress level to exist in the world. So make sure that by the way, totally drink, but take care of yourself as much as possible. Yeah, I would agree.
But also drinking, like, please monitor your drinking. There is a lot of drinking that happens during Fringe. And if you are also on like a really stressful show, I did a show a couple years ago that was like really emotionally taxing and very physically taxing. I basically did like a me and one audience member show where it was like me using the story of like dealing with the fact that I had unresolved issues with my grandfather when he passed, to allow them to like explore through themselves issues that they like anyone in their life that they feel judged or like emotionally like oppressed by feeling inadequate with, like so. And I did that over and over and over. It was like very emotionally and like somewhat physically also feeling taxing. And you're already in a situation where we're all like socially drinking, and then you're like drinking to deal with the stress, and like suddenly you're like, oh wait, I'm like drinking like 6 drinks a day, and you're like, this isn't healthy. Like, pace yourself. Like there, like I would go to like shows and like people would be sneaking each other flasks. Sorry. That doesn't really happen. Like, you're gonna be drinking a lot, but just like stay mindful and also like of yourself to also be healthy and taking care of yourself and like all of that stuff that's good. Listen to your doctors, go to therapy. I don't know. Like, yeah.
100%. I think, especially now, it was always important because Fringe is a marathon. It isn't a sprint. Like, it is 4 months of summer camp. And so you're socially exhausted, you're physically exhausted, you're creatively exhausted. Taking care of yourself throughout the process is important. I've learned the hard way, like, don't eat from food trucks for 30 days in a row. That's not a good idea. Like, you're not going to be okay at the end of it. I also learned things like, get your tonic with a splash of gin because you're going to be on site for 14 hours. And that's a great way to stay like, within moderation. Also, just like we've been talking about, learn your capacity and practice naming your capacity. capacity. That is something I will say we are practicing in the Fringe staff, because us too, we had a year off from a festival. Last year, we did a very strange festival compared to our normal format. And we had to learn as a smaller group, especially, we had to name our capacity to each other when something was too much, when it's like, I need an extra day because it is not healthy for me to continue to try and stare at this computer for a 10th hour. Learning to name that within your own casts and your own circles, I think is really important as we move forward. So let's, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I also just like, I'm going to like offer it up, even though like there's probably a bunch of strangers on here and I shouldn't do it, but like, if you run into me at Fringe and you're like starving and need something to eat, like let me know. I live in Fringe Central. I will go run home and bring you a cheese stick or something. Like we need to all take care of each other.
Yeah, 100%, Annie, that's so sweet. And that is really what this Fringe is about. I say this at every panel, at every workshop, it comes up because it's true. I've never met a community quite like this community. It's the reason I'm still here after 12 years. It's the reason I will never leave, is because this community is so special in that way. We take care of one another. The knowledge share like we're doing today. I've never been in a group where people will gladly and openly share their expertise so that I can be better, because they hold it personal. That way they can succeed, because God forbid more than one person succeed at a time, right? Where the Fringe community is not like that. We all succeed together. And so, yeah, take care of each other and make sure we continue that spirit throughout all of Fringe forever and ever. Let's take questions. So let's start marketing now. You can either, if you're in the Zoom room here, raise your physical hand, use the little emoji, and then I'll call on you. And please correct me if I mispronounce your name. I want to know, and I want to be able to learn it in the correct way. So let me know. You can also use the chat. And just if you are speaking here in person, introduce your show along with your name, because we're going to start to market now, starting to get the habit of, I should know Matt Ritchie, and this is your show. Like by the time we get to office hours, we want to know those things in tandem. I do see a question in the chat that I'll address while people are getting ready to ask questions. Sponsored drinks. Yes, sponsored drinks will be back. I will be honest, I'm still personally working through that program and how it's going to work this year. For those that don't know, it is a chance for our bar team to create a cocktail based on your show. So we will come up with a craft cocktail that is in celebration of your show. You will give us some information like themes, characters, any colors that are specific to your show, what your favorite like base alcohol is, and then we'll create a show drink. And then depending on, we'll also release Fringe Central stuff soon. So all of that kind of goes into one. So keep an eye out, more information on that soon. Okay, I'm looking through questions. Anyone?
I have a question, Lois.
Yeah.
Can you go ahead, if you're creating drinks, and create a Ukrainian drink for my show, which is the women who fought Russia's war on the Ukraine?
Yeah, we'll have an application come through very soon, Paul, but absolutely. It's a first come, first serve once we do open that up. So just keep an eye out for the sponsored drinks email in the newsletter. Any other questions? Austin, I see you have a hand up.
Yeah, hi. How are you? This has been very informative. Thank you all very much. My show is going to be Becoming Austin Nation. I heard you all talk about getting show sponsors. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? Is that what I'm making up what I think it is, but just so I'm clarifying what I think I heard.
Yeah, definitely getting show sponsors. For my first year, I had PBR be one of the sponsors for my show. So they basically supplied us with a whole bunch of beer to sell for concessions, which helped kind of cover the bottom line a lot. So that's what I mean, but with just getting people to literally like either put like an ad in your program, or you're putting something on your like on your flyers, like you're doing like some kind of product giveaway or something. People love free stuff. So if you can have someone do that for you to help promote the show, like, yeah, do it. Like, why not? It's like I'll tell you right now, somebody has a show that is giving away, I don't know, something, good old California plants. Your show will sell out. People will know what your show is. I mean, just say it.
But will they remember after the show, Royce? I mean, they have to remember to tell people about the show too.
They will. You know, because you give explicit instructions as to only take the edible. Don't take the edible until you sit until 20 minutes before the show, so you can fully enjoy the immersive experience of it.
Brings a whole new meaning to hi, my name is.
Yeah.
And a whole new low to our grant applications when we continue to.
Actually, that's genius.
I will also note, yell at office hours. So before I was the festival director, I was the sponsorship director. So please find me at office hours. I will happily chat through ideas if finding sponsorship or finding partners is something you're interested in. I would definitely love to have a conversation to help point you in the right direction.
You guys, can anyone touch upon Facebook ads and like the least you can spend per week on those, if they even work for this milieu?
I've never had success with Facebook ads.
Okay, good to know.
I sometimes get click-throughs to my page. I think maybe in my lifetime I've gotten like one like on a Facebook page through Facebook ads. Sometimes when I'm like really desperate, I'll try it, but it really hasn't worked for me. But I feel like, you know, in recent years, Meta has come up with more tools for advertising. Also, you don't necessarily need a Shopify store, but I'm just going to put this out there for people. Down in downtown LA, Shopify has a workshop space where they rent like podcasting room for $50 an hour. They rent like a product photography like tent for like $50 an hour, but they also have lots of free SEO AdWord workshops, buying Instagram ad workshops. Yes, when you go to the workshops, because they are free, like 30% of the content will be geared towards a Shopify store, but it's all lots of really basic, good email marketing information, things like that are really nice little quick tools to make you feel a little bit more confident when you are using maybe Snapchat's ad buy feature, things like that. So I get a lot out of those like free classes, and also, it's also a great free place to use Wi-Fi.
What do you guys use, Annie, Matt, and Royce, that you actually spend any money on for marketing, like besides the Fringe Guide, which I'm sure Lois and Ellen are going to get to?
I mean, I've spent money on like other Fringe stuff, like, the ad clicks on the website. And I also, spent money on, that's about it, actually. I don't know. I mean, I've spent like in my life, like I'll throw $20 towards an Instagram or a Facebook ad. And it's a lot less click through than I'd want. But I think also, for shows that have been non-Fringe shows, I have sometimes used alternative ticketing platform that does take a percentage of my ticketing sales, but they usually have like a built-in marketing system on their websites, which is helpful, which kind of goes to what like Royce was talking about by using Gold Star or things like that. So it's like a shared revenue stream, almost like that. And then also buying into other people's newsletters. Like if you're doing a show that like is about mental health, maybe like paying to have a little blurb at the end of a mental health newsletter in like their words from our like co-sponsors is a good use of your like money, and like personally I'd assume.
Cool. That's helpful.
And then like with the Facebook and Instagram ad thing, that tends to work more, especially if you have like a video or something like. So if you're doing like your trailer or like a quick preview of your show, you'll get more bang for your buck with that versus if it's just like a static flyer. It also kind of depends on the content of your show. Like, so when I was doing Facebook ads, like, yeah, you know, our show had been going before Fringe, so we had like so we did have an audience before. We had stuff to kind of pull from, and you know, we did get some ticket sales off of it. I mean, it's not like a lot, but you know, the more people that see, the better, because you know, they may have like seen the ad and then bought their ticket like another way. They didn't click through, or they went through another way. But that, other than that, like pretty much using Gold Star and like the Facebook ads like that, that's really what's, you know, what I've used, and mostly word of mouth, honestly.
No, I can see that. And then hopefully someone else will ask a question. So I'll let other people ask about the Fringe guide. Hopefully you guys will get to touch on that if you can. But thanks everyone. Your input is really helpful.
Thanks, Macy. I'll touch on that really quick. And I realized something that's very worthy of bringing up, ticket sales. If you don't know, if you sell your tickets on the Hollywood Fringe site, right, you have to do 50% of those, but the entire ticket sale goes back to you. So 100% of ticket sales go to you as an artist. We do not take a cut. Like was mentioned earlier, sometimes some of the third-party websites will, but again, they're going to offer different advertising as well. But no, on the Fringe site, we do not take a cent of your ticket money. That goes directly back to you at the end when you settle. At the end of the festival, I'm, you know, sending all of you individual checks. You will get the entire ticket sale pocket there. The guide ads. So with the physical guide, right, the printed guide, I'm going to remind you of the deadline. That's April 10th. You're going to want to have that in. This year we have full page ads, we have quarter page ads and half page ads. And I'm waiting for Ellen to give me the for sure. Yeah, those are the ones. So those are all more than 50% discounted. I think, for example, the full page ad, which this year is 8x10, so it's a pretty sizely ad, is $750 compared to the $2,000 regular price for non-participants, right? Because businesses and people will advertise in the Fringe guide because they get distributed all over Hollywood. And then website impressions, those are going to be ongoing. You can purchase those at any time. You can also, and I think this is important to note if you're new, you can pause them. So you can load up on Fringe website impressions and then pause them if you realize, because they go by clicks, right? So every time I'm on the site and I'm looking at Annie's show, I'm going to see ads on the side. When I see it, that is considered a click. And so that takes away from your running total, right? And with impressions, I think the rule is 3 times the charm, right? You want to see it 3 times. It'll be the 3rd time I see the rainbow unicorn broccoli ad. That's odd. But once I see that the 3rd time, then I'm going to click on it and go, you know what? I can't get that out of my head. I need to see what that show is about. Then I purchase the ticket, so on and so forth. So you want to purchase ads so that people see them multiple times. Any other questions about guide ads or website ads? Because I know that April 10th deadline is coming up rather quickly.
Can I say something about guides, but that's not about guide ads?
Yeah, you can.
I think that a big thing for people is like trying to game the guide, but you need to like make sure you're not trying too hard or it can backfire in your face. A lot of people will like decide I'm gonna put my show as immersive because there's less immersive shows than other ones. But then if you're not actually immersive, you're gonna get a lot of really angry reviews on the website being like, this show was not immersive, exclamation, do not go see this show, waste of money. So just like really be sure, and also some people actually do consider their show immersive, but then they didn't actually, it's not actually immersive. Like they think that because, you know, at one point they like, who in the audience has been like eaten a lollipop before, and like people raise their hands, they're like, that's immersive, right? But then like they'll get more people being like really angry, because so like being very aware of what your actual category is, and then also like knowing if you're doing a solo show, there's like I think more solo shows than any other category, and your show might get a little bit lost. So like trying to figure out like me gaming the system is like trying to figure out a really like unique name that maybe also alphabetically is top at of the letter. So like SA, like you're like going to be like at the top of like the S's or something like that. I know that's really dumb, but it kind of works a little bit. Like if you're scanning the guide, I know that's like, but like, you know, you don't want to like it to take away from the artistry of your show. If you have a really cool poetic name, then that is going to sell better on a flyer than coming up with a name that fits so it looks good at a good spot in the guide. But you need to like try and balance that. If you aren't emotionally attached to a really cool artful name, maybe you want to make it better for the guide. But if you have a really cool artful name, that's going to be way better than trying to place it at a good spot in the guide. So like it's a give and take. And so don't try too hard to game the guide, but also like, you know, be true to your show.
100%. I'm going to point out like, oh, Apartment A was the title of Annie's show. It's all making sense.
I'm changing my title to Aardvarks.
Or just have your show's name be period. It'll be like the first thing that shows up. Because
Now,
like,
didn't you do that by making your show hashtag blackboxing instead of just blackboxing? I think you did that.
Bunch of geniuses we brought to the panel today, y'all. I do want to note, and this is absolutely brilliant. Think about where your show's going to go based on your title, but also remember, like we were talking about, don't lie to your patrons. There's nothing worse. And you now, I mean, because part of the thing about Fringe is you now have an email list where the will call, people have the option to opt into your personal email list. That's something we set up the site to do. That way you walk away from Fringe with the contact information from all of the people who came and saw your Fringe show. They won't come back. They won't want to see the next thing you do if they know that they're going to be told something and then walk into something very, very different. For instance, if your show is immersive, make sure you tell people it's immersive. Some people get anxious. I am someone who gets a little more anxious going into an immersive experience. So I want the heads up so I can prepare. Or if your show, you know, has flashing lights, you're going to want to make sure those trigger warnings are in there. If your show is listed as family friendly and every other word is F this, you know, F that, then you are going to get in some trouble with some families who brought their 10-year-olds to see your show. So please just make sure before we hit those deadlines, kind of look it over and be like, is this 100% truthful? It's like at the end of your taxes. Am I telling the whole truth? You know, is this all of my correct information? Do that with your Fringe listing, please. All right. Any last questions, y'all? Am I actually going to end a panel on time today? I think I am.
Macy was trying to DM me about Better Lemons. What other people's experiences are with them. I haven't necessarily had any special experiences or anything good necessarily or bad. Just I don't spend money on that.
Yeah, I have I'll have like a show registered on there for sure, just because like the more places it shows up, the better. And like, you know, we'll have like, you know, reviews posted on there because I know in the past Better Lemons did do like you know, like awards for like, you know, like well-reviewed shows. So you'll get I forget what it was called, but you know, they had different levels, whatever it was, where it was like kind of like their version of certified fresh. Oh, certified sweet, that's what it was, for Better Lemons. So it's like, yeah, it can, I would say it can help because like, hey, the more places you have your show, the better. But I guess also just kind of being conscious about like, what's the audience that's going there? Will this engage them? Yeah, or like if it's something like, you know, like that, like yeah, I think that's probably the best I can think of for that.
And also what Royce was saying about awards too, reminded me of check out what, like, you know, you want a lot of Fringers versus like Gen Pop people see your show for like voting on awards, or Gen Pop that like to see more than one show, because usually if someone's seen at least 3 shows or they're a Fringe participant or button holder, all those people can vote on best of Fringe. But also look at the look ahead of time at the sponsor awards and see if anything fits particularly that you feel your show speaks to that particular award. Like, you know, if you have a 1-person show, even if you're a woman, you're not going to get the Bechtel test award because you don't have a conversation with someone who's another woman. But like, you know, maybe you can get the like coolest costume award because you're using like crazy costumes, you know, like look at it, see what fits for you, meant like that fits, and don't try and like blanket write all the words, because then they'll be like, you didn't pay attention to what my award is about, like why are you writing me? And then that'll kind of also get around to like, because like the people who sponsor awards are usually people who are really passionate about Fringe, and they'll like maybe talk to me like, I gotta write, I don't want to see this show because this person was saying that. So like try and do that. Oh, ads for your playbill, you know, also you can swap ads for shows in playbills with other shows that have similar themes and are similar types of shows. Like trying to do playbill swaps with people is a good idea.
Absolutely. Connect. Okay, I'm going to take one last question. Rachel, welcome.
Hi. Hello. I'm Rachel. I'm doing Popped Out. And I've done other festivals where people put like tickets up on Reddit, or they put tickets up on Kijiji. Does anyone do anything like that usually, or is that something that's like worked for Hollywood Fringe at all? I know you have your own website, so just wanted to ask.
I haven't thought about doing Reddit before, but yeah, that could be a good idea. If it's,
Yeah, you can get random people to go.
yeah. And I'm not sure the other site you said. I don't know that one.
Yeah, I didn't even hear the name of it. So
Kijiji. It's something in Canada and like in the UK. I don't even know if there's like an American equivalent, but basically just like public posting like comps or whatever. Just wondered if people had done that in the past. I haven't done Hollywood Fringe.
Also for comps, there is like this website in Chicago that purposely gives like comps out to people of color. And so if in the community there, so I can't remember it off the top of my head, but I think that that's like a great thing. And also look out, there's multiple organizations that do stuff like that. So I always try, if I'm doing a live stream, to put multiple tickets on these comp serves to people of color.
Yeah, and that can especially help like ones that are, you know, if just based in other cities. Use that for your digital for the live stream shows, because for that doesn't even matter. Like people can watch it whenever. So
Absolutely. Rachel, thank you for that. I wrote those down because, again, with this digital audience, those are some great marketing ideas.
oh, you wrote it down. How did you spell Kijiji?
It is not right, but it's enough to remember.
Kijiji. Kijiji.
It sounds
I
like
learned
an
about
indie rock band.
I learned about it doing like Adelaide. I think it's a thing that people use in Australia, like Craigslist. So they would go on and try to buy furniture, and sometimes people check for last minute comps to shows. I don't think we do that in LA, but it might be something to start.
Yeah, I just would not recommend Craigslist, y'all. Like, I don't want to send a bunch of participants into the world of Craigslist, like, because that's our version, or at least the one I'm aware of. So I'm going to say that here. Please don't do that to yourself. You're going to have a very strange journey that you did not anticipate. So I'm going to check out Kijiji, and because I imagine if it's in Adelaide, it's probably a little better.
Also, wait, like I thought of something, and then like the Craigslist thing came on, and I was like, and now my brain did like a brain fart, but I felt like it was like the last minute comps on the Hollywood Fringe Facebook group. If your show is like about to start, just be like, hey, if you come find me with the Stranger Things baseball cap on and say you saw this Facebook post, I'll let you in for free to my show. And then like people will just show up.
Yes. And Ellen, thank you for putting that in the chat.
Oh, and Fringe Central. Go walk around Fringe Central before your show. Be like, you want to go see a show? It looks like you need to see a show. Come on, come see a show. Or the Plunge, be like, hey, I'm putting on a show in 2 minutes. You should come see it. And also like some Plunge staffers are a little bit more cool with you like jumping up and advertising yourself. some are a little bit less. And so like you have to like know who the cool people are, like when you're doing it.
Yeah, but Fringe Central, absolutely. And so like full disclosure, because y'all, I'm not good at like trying to like keep things under wraps. We're hoping to have a Fringe Central this year. We are not in a place to officially announce anything yet, but know that we are actively working on a really cool possibility. And that is all I will say for now.
I'm going to add that what will really help us bring back a Fringe Central is by getting people to donate to Fringe. Because, y'all, this is a passion project of ours. We don't have a full-time staff when we do not have a huge amount of funding. And so spreading the word about Fringe, especially as we're fundraising for this 2022 festival, would be great.
Yes, absolutely. Because we want to bring all these things back, and pull signs and printed guides and Fringe Centrals, and it all costs money. In fact, more money. Did you know that paper is the new gold? I'm not even kidding. There is a paper shortage. So if you're getting postcards, I recommend getting them early because paper is a hot commodity. So you heard it here first. But with that, y'all, I am going to close out. Remember, any questions can go to support@hollywoodfringe.org at any moment. We want to hear from you. We want your questions. We want to be there to support you along your Fringe journey. So please do not hesitate to reach out. Make sure you register by April 1st to be included in our printed guide. April 1st, April 1st, April 1st. And then join us on March 23rd for that party we've been talking about. We'd love to see you there to share space in person. You are wonderful in your Zoom boxes, but I want to see you in person and share space. So please come out. Make sure you read every newsletter. I know that we send a decent amount of them out, but I promise from now until June, they are important. Everything in there is so vital to your success at Fringe, to make sure that you're booking your venue on time, to make sure that you are scheduling your performances on time. There's nothing we want, or we don't want you to have a registered show, a booked venue, and then not get to be in the Fringe guide because you forgot to make sure your performances were added in, those sorts of things. So please make sure you're checking those newsletters. That will make sure you have your checklist to get everything done in a timely manner. And I'm going to say it again because it's the most important thing about all of this. Support@hollywoodfringe.org, support@hollywoodfringe.org. We are always here for you. Until next time, Fringe on, y'all.
Hey, thanks, guys. Great workshop.